Hi, friends. Tony DeWitt here, Missouri appellate attorney and a guy who likes to make the law make sense on YouTube. Here's what we're discussing today. Pretty much everyone knows that the minute you drive a new car off the lot, it depreciates in value. It's automatically worth $3,000, $4,000, or $5,000 less than it was 10 minutes ago. And that's why a lot of people do buy used cars, because the depreciation has already been worn off the vehicle. And in most cases, anything that can go wrong or would go wrong with the car has already gone wrong and has already been fixed under the manufacturer's warranty. So sometimes used cars are a much better deal than a new car. But there are some things to know when looking at buying a used car, and in no particular order, let's go through a few of them. First, know the dealer. Look on Yelp, go to the Better Business Bureau, talk to friends, neighbors, get a feel for the reputation of the dealer, and you deal only with those folks who are honest and ethical. This advice alone will probably save you thousands of dollars and lots of heartache. Deal with people who are honest. Next, keep in mind that negotiation for purchase of a car requires you to care, but not too much. You see, a lot of times when people are buying a car, the dealer or the salesman knows you want the car. That's why you're there. The question is, how badly do you want it? Are you willing to pay another $10,000 for it? Probably not. Are you willing to pay more than it's worth? Well, you certainly shouldn't be. And so, a lot of times, if a dealer thinks that you are a sucker, they are going to quote you a price that is probably higher than the car is actually worth. And if a dealer gets stuck on a price that either you can't afford or you think overvalues the vehicle, tell them you won't buy at that price and be prepared to walk away. If you're not prepared to walk away, they're going to know that. You get in your car, you drive on, and you find another dealer. Because anybody that is going to take advantage of you by inflating the cost of a vehicle and is not willing to negotiate with you in good faith, that's not somebody you want to buy a car from. No deal gets worse through negotiation. And no deal ever gets worse by you thinking about it. In most cases, the dealer has a lot of room to reduce the price and negotiate with you, and a lot of times they just stick with the price that's on there if they think they can hoodwink you into buying a car that is actually worth less than the price that they're selling it for. So it does help to know what the Kelley Blue Book value of the vehicle is. It does help to know other things like the history. In fact, if you get the vehicle identification number, the VIN, first of all, you want to make sure it matches the car that you're purchasing. A lot of times they'll show you a Carfax for a VIN for a car that sounds like the car you're buying, and the VINs don't match. So check it physically. Go out and check the VIN on the vehicle you want. Don't get fooled. Then review the vehicle history. You look for accidents, flood damage, or other issues that may affect its value or its safety. Here's a good one that may show up: repossessions. Repossessions are often sold by auto auctions to used car dealers. The dealer may not know the history, so you should always get a Carfax. Why are repos problematic? Well, think about it. If a person doesn't have the money to pay the note on the car, are they doing the maintenance? Are they putting good gasoline in it? Are they changing the oil? Are they doing any of the things that are necessary to preserve the manufacturer's warranty? If they're not, then that's probably not the car that you want to buy, no matter how good the price, because if you have a low price, you may wind up having to pay more later on when you have to repair the car. Now, the next thing to do is to inspect the car thoroughly for any signs of damage or mechanical issues. I always recommend getting a mechanic to help you with this, or someone who is very knowledgeable about cars. And just because the odometer reading shows 30,000 miles doesn't mean it only has 30,000 miles. Odometer fraud is a real thing. So a lot of times a mechanic can look at something and say, I know it says 30,000 miles, but this car has been driven much further than that. So that's an important thing to be alert for. Take the car for a test drive to assess its performance and handling. Take at least 20 minutes on that test drive. Sure, you can go around the neighborhood in the dealer, but you also want to take it on the highway. How does it perform at highway speeds? How well does it brake? Be alert for noises. Does it pull to the right or the left? Those are the kinds of things you want to look for, and you want to make sure that the car that you're getting is mechanically sound. It doesn't have odd noises. It doesn't burn oil, all of that kind of thing. Because let's face it, there is some reason this car is being sold as used. Maybe somebody traded it on a new vehicle and it was perfectly fine, but maybe it wasn't. Again, this is one of those buyer beware things. Now, you found the car you want. You know that the dealer has it priced at $5,500. Go to your bank or your credit union and apply for an automobile loan if you need to finance it. You will pay a higher interest rate at the car dealer because the dealer gets a kickback on the financing. If he finances this car to you at 10%, he's probably getting a 3% kickback on that loan. And as a result of that, you're paying more than you would if you just went to your bank or credit union and got the loan in advance so that at the end of the day, you could take that bank check down there and pay for the car without having to deal with all of the nonsense that comes with financing it at the dealership. So, again, just a little note for future reference. Save money, go to a bank you trust or a credit union that you use. At some point, you're going to be talking about signing a contract to buy the car. Now we have to start thinking about words meaning things. If a dealer makes a promise to you and doesn't reduce it to writing, it is not a promise. It isn't binding. If they're not willing to put it in writing, they aren't willing to honor the promise. You should walk away. Some people say you should run away. When you're buying a used car and reviewing the contract, here are some things to watch out for. First of all, price transparency. If the negotiated price is $5,500, they're going to add additional fees and charges on. Now, it seems to me if they quoted you a price of $5,500, you shouldn't have to pay transportation charges. This isn't a new car. It wasn't trucked in. You shouldn't have to pay document preparation fees. They're going to have to prepare these documents to sell them anyway. This is just a profit grab. They're baloney. All these documents are on a computer and it doesn't cost them anything but about 10 cents worth of paper to print all of them. This is just an extra profit grab. Don't fall for it. Also, be alert for little surprises in there, things like arbitration agreements. Now, I have a video on arbitration agreements. I will try and link it up here in the description, and also up there, and let you know a little bit more about arbitration agreements, but I do think that arbitration agreements are a bad deal and a good reason to walk away from a car purchase. Make sure you understand what type of warranty is offered, what kind of guarantee is offered, and if there isn't one, that it's plainly disclosed. If you're financing through the dealer, in spite of my plea not to do that, review the financing terms carefully, look at the interest rate, loan duration, monthly payments, make sure there are no prepayment penalties or hidden fees associated. If you're going to have the dealership do the title and license, make sure that the title is clear and free of any liens. Many times your bank can help you with this. Ensure that the registration fees are clearly outlined and tracked directly with what the state charges. Understand if you are asked to sign a piece of paper before you've actually gotten the financing and that sort of thing, that there is a cancellation policy where you get your deposit and fees back in the event you decide not to proceed with the purchase. And if not, then don't do it, because anybody who won't give you a refund if you change your mind is just looking to make a quick buck off of you. Make sure that the odometer statement that you get handed matches that of the car. Watch out for any discrepancies that may indicate tampering with the odometer. Ensure that you have adequate insurance in place before taking possession of the car, and seek legal advice if you have any doubts or concerns about the contract terms. And this is really important. Take your time. No deal ever got worse because you took a couple of hours to think about it. No deal got worse later in the day. They want to sell. Use time against the dealer. Take the time to carefully review and understand all the terms before you make a purchase decision. Don't make an impulse purchase. I've done that, and I regretted it. I had a perfectly good Chevrolet Citation that would have taken me thousands and thousands of miles, and I traded it in for a Mustang with T-tops because it looked so cool. And then I spent the next 3.5 years paying off that loan that I probably would not have needed if I had just continued with the Chevrolet. Now, there's obviously no problem with buying a car that you like and that will make you look cool and feel cool, but if you can't afford it, that is a very bad thing. So take the time to do your due diligence, but also take the time to consider whether or not this is really the best deal for you. Are you buying it because it looks cool or because you need it? And just think about that, because a lot of times, if you do walk away, you will save yourself a lot of heartache. And as we said earlier, remember, it's always a good idea to have a trusted mechanic inspect the car before finalizing the purchase, and especially before you sign any contracts. If you're unsure about any aspect of the deal, don't hesitate to ask questions and seek clarification from the dealer. And if the dealer clarifies something, it is not clarified unless it is in writing. If it's not in writing, it's not a clarification and it's not a part of the bargain. You have to have it reduced into writing and incorporated into the contract. Otherwise, it's just useless words. Now, most used cars do not have warranties. Sometimes the dealer will offer you an extended warranty, and oftentimes these are offered through what amount to fly-by-night dealers, fly-by-night warranty companies that in a couple of years may very well go out of business because they're poorly run. And again, the dealer usually gets a piece of the action when they sell you one of these extended warranties. So you should cut out the middleman and look online to see who has the best reputation and the best ratings on the Better Business Bureau site and Yelp. If you're buying a service contract, buy it from a reputable company not related to the dealer, because the dealer has an interest in essentially not disclosing problems with the vehicle, and the warranty company has an interest in making sure that there are no undisclosed problems. So again, if you deal with somebody who is in bed with the dealer, you're probably not getting the best deal that you could possibly get. Now here's a real question. Do you really need an extended warranty? Consumer Reports publishes the reliability ratings of almost all new cars based on prior models. If you're looking at a 2021 Chevy Malibu, for example, you can probably find repair history ratings and Consumer Reports for that brand and model of vehicle. You might have to go to the library if you're not a subscriber, but that's what it's there for. Find Consumer Reports, find the automotive edition that they put out every year, and look for that vehicle and find out what the average repair cost is and how many times it has to be repaired over the course of a year. That is something that will give you a real indication of whether or not you even need to buy an extended warranty. Now, if you do decide that you're going to need an extended warranty, here are some things to consider. First, the pros. Peace of mind. An extended warranty from a reputable company can provide peace of mind by covering unexpected repair costs, especially for major things like engine or transmission. And that's a good thing. Predictable costs. With an extended warranty, you usually have a fixed cost for repairs, a deductible, so to speak. So if you have a $5,000 repair, you may only have to pay $50 to $100 as a deductible to get that repair done. And whether or not it is transferable. Sometimes extended warranties are transferable, which can increase the resale value of the car if you decide to sell it before the warranty expires. Now, those are all of the pros, but there are cons of an extended warranty. First, the cost. They can be very expensive, and in some cases, the cost may outweigh the potential savings on the repairs. You are essentially paying somebody a large chunk of money to take the risk that the car is not going to fail. Coverage limitations. There are always going to be coverage limitations. Headlights, wiper blades, windshields, door handles, electronic door locks, electronic windows, all things like that, things that have a lot of use that you don't necessarily think about, may not be covered by an extended warranty. The air conditioner may not be covered. They can have certain exclusions with respect to things like the transmission and the engine. For example, they may require you to keep a record of all of the oil changes, and if you can't produce that, they may say, "Oops, sorry, I know you got a bad repair here, but you're not covered because you didn't follow through on the maintenance." And believe me, an extended warranty company has every incentive not to repair your vehicle and to use these limitations and exclusions against you. And again, like I said, the probability of needing repairs is something that's very important. If the car is generally reliable and well rated by Consumer Reports and you don't think you need an extended warranty, you can take advantage of that by putting aside about $2,500 in a savings account as a vehicle repair fund. That's about what a warranty costs for some of these cars, and in major cases, you can get a good repair even of major items for less than that. If you never need to use it, you can roll it into a down payment on your next vehicle, along with all the interest that's accumulated on it in the savings time that you've had it. So that is a good thing to do if indeed you think you have a reliable car that is not likely to need major repairs. Ultimately, the decision on whether or not to purchase an extended warranty or invest the money depends on your individual circumstances and preferences. It may be helpful to weigh the potential costs and benefits and consider seeking advice from a financial advisor or a mechanic if you're uncertain. So that's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe. You can leave me an email at the address above. And of course, if you have the opportunity today, do something kind for someone. We went to a place called Culver's here in town a couple of days ago because they were having a benefit. And the benefit was for an individual who had been seriously injured, and they were donating a portion of their proceeds from that night to benefit his cause. And so we went and we had a good meal, and not only did we enjoy it, but we knew a large portion of that and the proceeds were going to help this individual. That is a really good way to do good for others while you do good for yourself. So think about that. That can always be an option. And again, I greatly appreciate you being here and watching. And if you would, catch me at the beach again next time. Thanks so much for being here. Have a great day. If you like this video, here are a few others you might try, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a terrific day, guys.